I want to basically talk about bodybuilding, fitness, and how it got ruined for me, basically. I've been into bodybuilding since I was a little kid, man. I watched my dad build muscle. I watched Arnold, Sylvester Stallone, all the movies, I was always into getting size, getting big, like the Hulk. And I'm a very artsy guy, so bodybuilding is like art to me. Sure, you gotta lift weights and everything to get there. And I love lifting weights, don't get me wrong. But when I was a kid, man, when I finally was able to work out, because my mom wouldn't even allow me to touch weights, saying that my bones will never grow and stuff like that, I had to rebel and go take my dad's weights when they were out, for dinner or something like that, and lift as a 14, 15-year-old out in the secret. Once I did, man, it was amazing. But I found out that I'm not very strong. I'm a very weak guy, even though I was 6'2" since I was 12 years old. I'm a very weak guy, and through a lot of research, being on my little DSI, I don't know if you guys remember that, the Switch ones, the DSI 2, I would have that under my pillow. When I went to sleep, I would go on bodybuilding forums, do some research on Google, how to build muscle, finding out that building muscle and strength training are two different highways. I was really happy to find that out, because when I found that out, I took every technique, strategy I could to only build muscle, because that's all I care about. And I'm already weak, so I don't care about fast strength gains. Of course, as an adult now, there can be programs and stuff like that to get those strength, but I still think naturally I'm just weak, man. Even though I can lift heavier now, I only go with the progression of hypertrophy. That's honestly it, so I can get more size out of strength in my gains. But that being said, bro, I trained so hard. I went from a scrawny kid to a nice muscular kid at 16, 17, looking really good. But one day, I crashed my car and it gets totaled. You know what happened? I didn't go to the hospital. I just knew that in 6 months, I'm going to see my family again in Switzerland, where I'm from. I'm going to see them again in 6-8 months, because now I live in America and they haven't seen my new physique. So I trained so hard trying to regain and build up, look the leanest I looked, as I'm the biggest as I've been. And of course, I'll put some pictures right here. Man, I was ready, but in that process, as I'm lifting, I'm doing my deadlifts, I'm doing shoulder presses. I don't know how, but I'm at like 16, 17 doing 80-pound dumbbells, pressing, obviously not full rep, like stopping right here and then up. And guess what? At one point, 5 months, 6 months in, I feel something in my hamstring. I'm like, oh, maybe I just pulled my hamstring, like a ligament or something. It's gonna take like 4 or 3 months. I continue to go to train, skip leg days, drink pre-workout, and at one point, I'm walking with a cane. Literally walking with a cane, unable to bend, each step hurts. My mom says that we have to wait for my insurance to change and all that. Until then, we can go talk to some doctors. When I go talk to doctors, I found out that I had herniated discs. So bad that each doctor was trying to get me to do surgery. They were like, this is worse than 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, and I'm only like 17 and a half, about to turn 18. Bro, that was so crazy to find out. And on top of that, I had to go through 8 or 9 doctors. I don't remember exactly anymore, but 8 or 9 doctors that kept trying to tell me to do surgery, until one of them was like, let's try physical therapy. Lucky enough, once my insurance changed, because again, I had to wait a few months for it to change, I was able to get that physical therapy. And my therapist was a bodybuilder, past bodybuilder. He told me, bro, don't give up yet. Because I hadn't trained for months on after, waiting for this to happen. I couldn't barely walk. And once I did physical therapy, it took me a few months. He showed me some stretches and stuff like that. What I have is permanent, but I can do stretches to relieve the pain. And the pain I would feel, man, I'm walking in that cane. I remember my left leg, that tingliness, numbness, and knives stabbing the hamstrings nonstop, like 20 knives in, out, in, out. It hurt, bro. I couldn't even lay down straight and be comfortable, because it's your spine, bro. One is like this and the other one on top is scooched. That hurt very much, and I was living through that. I don't know how. The only position I was allowed to be when I was flat was on my back, or I could just make it worse. So once I finished physical therapy, he said, go on out, you're good. You can continue doing these stretches yourself and you should be good, because I was already pain-free, but I wasn't as flexible yet. And what the doctor told me was like, I'm never gonna be able to lift again. If I lift more than 20 pounds doing a workout and stuff, I can get paralyzed, which is really crazy to find out. And my biggest goals was getting big. I wasn't yet in the position where I wanted to be competitive, but I still wanted to be a bodybuilder. I wanted to be big, train for my physique. But that was crushing my dreams so hard. He was like, find a different profession and everything, because even my profession, I'm a personal trainer, online coach, and I manage gyms. And he was telling me to take a different path back then. No, I was never gonna do that, because this is where my heart is. This is where my passion is, at building muscle and helping others achieve their goals as well. With that being said, man, I left physical therapy. I continued doing my stretches. My flexibility was bad. I started training muscles that supported my injury so I can be pain-free a lot more. I started doing mobility work to make sure I can touch the ground again. After 2 years, I was able to touch the ground again. And after those 2 years, I was like, my heart still lays in bodybuilding. So I started training as hard as I could again. But this time around, I could not push my limits. That's where everything got ruined. I couldn't push my limits, so I did more studying, more finding out how I can cause hypertrophy without lifting too heavy. And it is possible, bro. I did it. I continued. I bulked up. I did 3 years consistently, got up to like 225 pounds. When I got to 225, I finally, after 2-3 years, did my first cut. First official cut. Of course, in the back, I've gone up, down on weight, trying to lose weight, but this one was for a competition. I decided to be competitive this time. So I did my 12-week cut, got on stage and competed, and it was the best time ever. Don't get me wrong, I am sad because when I was like 15, 16, I was like, when I'm 20, I would compete. When I'm 22, I would already be professional. When I'm 24, I could do some more, you know, some secret dark stuff, but we're not even there yet. I'm 25 now, and I'm where I thought I would be at 20. Back is putting limits on me, but it's not gonna stop me from my passion and my dreams and goals. My goal is to have 22-inch arms, up to 24-inch arms. I wanna have a small waist and be lean and cut. And I will make that happen, no matter how long it takes, because that's where my heart is. Don't get me wrong, I like to lift, I love bodybuilding. Main reason I'm in this, because I see this in an artistic way. I love poses once you have your body built. So if you check out my page, I have a lot of poses and everything like that. I keep trying. If you ever need some help with poses, I'm there for you, bro.